I turn around and everything has changed. Looking for a way to work it out. I'm trying to find some peace to navigate. The oak tree where I met you, and the writing on the statue. I still remember every word you said. I'm not a soldier, but I'm fighting. Can you hear me through the silence? I won't give up, 'cause there will be a day we'll meet again. Everything we wanted turned to gold. The path we chose, the future on our side. Never thought I'd do this on my own, but now I wield the sword you left behind. The oak tree where I met you, and the writing on the statue. I still remember every word you said. I'm not a soldier, but I'm fighting. Can you hear me through the silence? I won't give up, 'cause there will be a day we'll meet again. We'll meet again. Dark for the sunrise, clouds for a blue sky, space for the traveling star. Strong from the inside, you're still my lifeline. I feel you wherever you are. The oak tree where I met you, and the writing on the statue. I still remember every word you said. I'm not a soldier, but I'm fighting. Can you hear me through the silence? I won't give up, 'cause there will be
'cause it seems to me that the more I try, the more I see, the less I understand. And I go for you, and I wish you weren't. So
let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we're setting sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to another Chill Art Sunday. I hope you all are doing well, and as always, I hope you are doing better than me and that your week has been a good one also. Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the end of the weekend. Welcome to Sunday. Welcome back to the Chill Art Sunday. Before I actually jump into doing anything, let me give you a little disclaimer. A couple, actually. Number one, I'm actually not feeling too well today. Also, I don't know what exactly I should be doing on today's show. I came up with a couple ideas, but I don't really think it's really enough content for a full 3-hour stream, let alone more than that. Now I say this, and in before I end up streaming for 4 or 5 hours. Because believe me, that has happened before. I said I was going to probably do a short stream, and I ended up overextending it. But that's besides the point. Point is, I'm not feeling too well. I might make many interruptions throughout the stream also to go to the bathroom, because I don't know, I think I might have eaten something that is not sitting quite well with my stomach or something like that. And I also am feeling very, very tired. Not just mentally, as I have been for a very long time now, but also kind of physically. No, I'm also a little bit short on breath, I think. Anyway, and the other disclaimer is I'm still having some issues with my microphone, so I do apologize if you hear any kind of not zooming, buzzing or humming on the microphone. Not even in the background, because you actually do have a little noise in the background today because I have my fan on. But I'm talking about an actual electrical interference noise on the microphone. You know the type, the one that goes like constantly. Excuse me, constantly. I still have yet to figure out why that is happening, let alone how to fix it. I still have been trying, and I still couldn't figure it out. I kind of managed to mitigate the issue a little bit to make it less of a problem by boosting up the noise suppression filters on OBS, but it's still pretty bad. It is still very, very much pretty bad. It may not sound as bad on OBS for you guys on stream, but believe me, it is actually very bad. Anyway, so what have I ended up finally decided to do today? Actually, before I answer that question to you, oh, that wasn't a question, that was a statement. Anyway, before I actually do that, I would like to make another little rant about DeviantArt. I've done one at the start of the Chill Art Sunday a few months ago, and they just did another crap thing that deserves another rant. So for a while now, I'll show you in a moment. First, let me give you a little bit of context. For a while now, they have gradually been removing certain features that have always been present on the platform, or at least have been present on the platform for a very long time. And these features have always been very useful, very easy to do, very nice also, and practical and quick to use. And gradually, one of these features, and this is the focus of this rant, one of these features has been the ability to easily insert, easily mention other deviants, which is how users are called on DeviantArt. If you have an account on DeviantArt, you are a deviant. In other words, you are a member, you know? Anyway, I digress. There was this very easy way to mention other users. Let's put it that way, because even though the term deviant in the context of DeviantArt is correct, it still sounds a bit weird. So there was this very easy way for you to mention another user. Say, for example, you uploaded a gift picture for someone to your gallery, and you wanted to say, let's pretend this is the description. But actually, no. Let's use an actual picture as an example. Hold up. Let me Let me open something recent here that actually has this issue, and I have to fix it. I can't remember. Maybe not this, not this. I just uploaded this today. Yeah, okay, this here. Yeah, I haven't fixed the issue here. Notice this here. This line and this here, more specifically, this stuff that says icon Mike Dragon. But I'll get to that in a moment. Let me open here to edit. Let me skip a few lines and pretend I am writing a new description. Let's pretend this picture here is a gift for someone. So let's say you want to mention another user who you are gifting the artwork you are uploading to. Let's say, for example, hey, this is a gift for my friend. And then to mention your friend, there were two ways you could do that. You could put this character here that I can never remember the name of in English, and you would write dev and then the name of their account. Let's say, for example, Inuyasha. That's an actual friend of mine. You could do it like this, and the end result would be their name become clickable. That is, when I post this, the text will say, hey, this is a gift from my friend, and then just show the actual name itself without the dev over here. And that name would be linked to that person's account. So if anyone would click on the name, they would end up on this account over here. Let me show you. They would end up on this account here. And another way to do that would be by instead of having just the name, if you wanted to show their avatar on your post, so like in the case of Inuyasha, for example, to show this avatar here, instead of dev, you would instead type icon, like this. And when you posted it, it would display like, well, like this here. See, it is here. My avatar is showing here because for that, when I wrote this description, I wrote icon, Mike-Dragon, like that. And when posting this line of, let's say, code, display like this. Otherwise it would show as just a clickable name. Anyway, these were two ways for you to, these were two methods, two ways for you to mention someone, or not even necessarily someone, but one thing that DeviantArt has always had for a really long time are a thing called Please accounts, PLZ. And these accounts were not really user accounts meant for uploading artworks, excuse me, like my own account, for example. No, these were accounts where the avatar itself was meant to be used as an emote, as an emoticon, or as you dang kids nowadays like to call it, an emoji. Ugh, I hate that word. Anyway, I digress. So the other result would be, well, the same as this here, except it would be basically an emote. So that was one very easy way for people to, well, to express themselves a little better through text, in conversations, in comments, and replies, etc. It was great. It was really easy to use. If you knew the account you wanted to mention, whether would it be another user or a Please account, it would take less than half a second. Well, less than half a second is actually absurd. It would take like half a second. Like, seriously, how long does it take for you to type this? You know, at best 1 second, 2 seconds at most, right? Really quick, straightforward, super easy to use, no secrets there. And then they have gradually been removing this feature from any different text boxes. I noticed this months ago, actually, where it became impossible to use Please accounts on mere comments or even replies. And then it became not possible to do that when writing a journal and status posts, and more recently when I was uploading those 2 pictures that I finished a few short Sundays ago and I forgot to upload them, which were these 2 here. This one I actually finished last Sunday. When I went to upload them today and write the description, I realized they made it impossible to use these methods of mentioning accounts on the description now. So you can't do that, and that is why on this post, well, not this one. Which one was it? Fudge! Now I'm confused. Help! Yes, this card changes. Oh yes, it has. It actually is this one, and that is why it is showing like this now, because it doesn't work anymore. Well, actually, it is showing like this because I tried using that method here. Originally, it wasn't showing anything. It was completely blank, nothing. So I had to type icon do not use please, my art please, and these 2 here are please accounts. They are supposed to be this here. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little better. See this little, it's basically this little notice here, stop, you are not authorized to use this artwork, meaning that I am not giving anyone permission to re-upload this without, well, my permission. Anyway, so it doesn't work. After I posted this, then I figured out it actually is still possible to do this. It's just being made very cumbersome, very time consuming. You have to jump through a few hoops to get it done. It's still possible, but it's not straightforward anymore. It's not quick. It takes a long time. It is annoying. It is very frustrating. It sucks. And this is another one of the many things that DeviantArt ever since, now sure, the problems are, DeviantArt has been having many problems way before Wix.com bought them out, but I am 100% certain things went way downhill, way fast, soon as Wix bought them out. And this is one of the many things that have been severely worsened on DeviantArt ever since the buyout. Many things have been worsened by a lot, by a large mile, and this one is just one of the latest, at least one that I have noticed so far, because I'm sure there must be more. Anyway, so I showed you how it used to be for you to add these mentions, right, back then. I'll show you how it is done now, because I'm going to fix this here so it will show nicely like this here. Also, the actual emoticons that DeviantArt has built in, well, they kind of don't work very well anymore. certainly not like they used to. But my actual gripe is not the emoticons. It's the mentioning of accounts. Okay. So I showed you how it used to be, how easy it was, how quick it was. I'll show you now how it is, well, how it is now. And you know what, I'm actually going to bring up my chronometer on my watch. I'm not going to do it on screen because, actually, you know what, yeah, I will use a chronometer on screen. Why not? Let's see how long it will take. Let's see how long it takes to do both ways, okay? Now, sure, the actual time we are going to have on the chronometer is going to be a little longer than the actual time it will take because, well, it would take a moment for me to click out of this screen and then go back here to SNAS to stop the watch. You know, start, click here, type, then go back here and stop. But still, it should be enough for us to have a little idea. First, I'm gonna do the way it used to be, where you just type the thing, okay? I'm gonna do my own name, right? I'm gonna do icon-Mike Dragon. Icon Mike-Dragon, I mean. Let's go. Icon Mike Dragon, and pause. 10 seconds. Technically less than 10 seconds because, again, the time it took for me to click out of here to go here and then back here to stop. 10 seconds. Right? Now let's stop this. And first I will show you what it's like on the new way, and then I will time it. Okay, so now to get the same effect, what you have to do is, first of all, let me erase this. So you put your text cursor where you want the dimension to be. In this case, just the avatar. I actually haven't really looked into if it is still possible to do just the name. I think it is, and it might be a similar method. So for now, I'll just go with the avatar. So now you put your cursor where you want the avatar to be. Mind you, depending on how much text you have on screen, you will have to scroll. So take into account also this extra step here, where you have to scroll, because you know what, let's start up here, since I will have to scroll down to actually use the thing. So the avatar I want to have here as an emote is going to be the accounts Do Not Use Bliss and My Art Bliss. Why these? So I can have this here. This is actually 2 pictures, that's 2 accounts, and both of them form one emote basically. So I want this to show here. Okay, so I'll skip a line here so I can actually copy from here, because I never remember these from memory. Okay, so I can't type anything here. I'll have to scroll down, so I gain access to this toolbar here, this tool icon rather. Add emotes or avatar, then I click here, I go to avatars, I go to search, I type in the name of the account I want, hit enter, wait for the search to work, which, mind you, in my tests earlier, this does not always work. So sometimes this will just give you no results, even if you got the name of the account exactly as it is. Anyway, so here I found the first part of the emote I want to post there. So now I click it, now I scroll back up, and there it is. Now for some reason there is a space right after the thing, so now I'm gonna have to erase this. I can't erase this space, so now there's going to be a gap between those 2 images. And now I will do the second one. So I went back up, now I'm gonna have to go back down, go back here, avatars, search, the name, enter, and then I click, scroll back up, and there's that annoying gap. Now I move the cursor to in between and erase the gap, and finally I have the emote I wanted. And now all I gotta do is repeat this process for any others that I want. So this one here for my own name. Let's go here, Mike the Dragon, search, that was the emoticons. That's another thing, you actually have to pay attention to what you are clicking on. I almost forgot how to type my own name. And there we go, now I have my face there. Now for this other emote, let's erase this. Avatars, says 3 please. Is there a gap here between these 2? I can't tell, probably. There wasn't. Okay, but at least Control Z still works. And there is a gap here where I don't want a gap to be. See, it also inserts gaps, spaces, where there's not supposed to be any, so you have to fix those if you don't want them. And there we have it. Now I have the stuff as I wanted, except I still have to fix the emotes up here. There we go. Now this is how it was supposed to be, except for some reason now there is an extra line jump there. Why is that there? Oh, I hate this. Also, can I just say, this new window for uploading and editing deviations, it is even worse than the one we had before, which was worse than the old one. They somehow managed to make the old one, which was great, it was good, they managed to make it bad or at least not as good anymore. And now they made it even worse. Everything is cramped together. You have less room to work with. You have to scroll around a tad more actually. For some reason, advanced settings is never available right out of the bat. You always have to click on this. It's annoying. I think there's also fewer options, but I could be misremembering that. So don't quote me on that one. Anyway, let me fix this real quick. There we go. Now that is how it's supposed. Why is this gigantic? This is supposed. I think there's another thing that they changed that I hate that they changed. This is supposed to be small, smaller, smaller. Great. It can't be made smaller like back in the day. So that's another thing. So if you want to post a link to some other deviation, some other artwork in your texts, you now only have the choice to have them big or ginormous on your screen. Fantastic. Anyway, so that's how you do these here now. Did you see how many steps it took for me to finally get these done? Many steps. I had to jump. No, I'm gonna say jump through many hoops. That's not really the proper terminology, but let's roll with it. Point is, did you see how many extra steps I had to take? Now let's see how long it is going to take for me to insert just a single avatar on this text box here. Now I will time it. Alright, I'm gonna do just my avatar because it should be quicker. Alright, ready, set, go. And I'm gonna try to go as quick as I can. There, stop, pause. There. How the hell did it take 10 seconds? Something's not right here. Hold up. Let's do the text again. No, I just took too long when I did the text version first. 4 seconds for the text version, minus tabbing back in and out and, starting and stopping. Let's do it again. So around 4 seconds for the text. Let's say 3 seconds. Let's discount 1 second for starting and stopping the chronometer, okay? Let's do, to make things quicker, I'm gonna tab around instead of actually clicking here. That's another thing that costs a little time. Let's do the new way now. Let's do it again and time it again. Start. Avatars. There. Pause. 9 seconds. It's still around close to 10 seconds. Let's do text again. I gotta click start first. Oh god, I think the cat just farted. My god, kitty, what the hell did you eat? Good thing I have my fan on. Anyway. And start. Stop. There, again, 3 seconds. 3 to 4 seconds. Let's average 3 seconds. Oh, Jesus Christ. So as you can see, although that is still possible, it's being made harder and more time consuming, and I hate it. Now sure, many people will say, but Michael, that is no big deal, just a few extra clicks here and there. I get it. I got you. Don't fully disagree with you, but I also do disagree, because for people like me who hate to waste any bit of time and don't like to take extra steps to perform an action that used to be easy and quick and straightforward to do, for someone like me who is like that, this is incredibly frustrating, downright infuriating. And so completely unnecessary. Really unnecessary. Now, sure, you could also say, oh, but Mike, you don't really have to go on the search. You can just, when you click on the avatars tab, just scroll and find the one you want. Yeah, good luck finding what you want here. Look at this. And mind you, these that are showing here, that you can scroll through, are only the people you, with your account. These are only the people you are watching. So if there's an account you want to mention that is not in your, let's say, friends list, it is not going to be listed here. And even if it is, well, good luck finding it. So whether you like it or not, it's still, which is not quick at all, but it's still quicker to actually type in the name of the account. And that is a huge waste of time. Why make this change when the old method of simply typing the name of the account was much easier? You know, whether you wanted to show the avatar or just the name. Why make this change? This was so much faster. But many new users don't know about that. Well, I didn't know about this here either, and I figured it out. Plus, at least back in the day, DeviantArt had instructions on some text commands you could input on their text boxes. And when I say text box, I'm talking about comments, journals, status, etc. How else do you think I figured this out? Anyway, point is, why make it so cumbersome when the old method was so much easier? And even if the matter of a new user not knowing how to do this, even if that is the matter, then why is it still easier for them to make things cumbersome rather than actually writing down a simple instruction somewhere, like in a FAQ, for example? But people don't read those. Well, do you think anyone will read about you clicking here and then here either? No, people figure this stuff out by clicking around. How do you think I figured this out? Same thing with this. But that is not the point. The point is, a simple action has been made more difficult. I'll say difficult. Sure, it's not actually difficult to do this and this and this and then this, but relatively speaking, as it is, because before all you had to do was just type. How hard is it to type? Seriously. I'm not asking you this just because I am already in my 30s. This platform is not made for babies who cannot type. Anyone who has used this platform is capable of typing, even if they can barely speak their own language. So seriously, why make such a simple action? I was going to say simple question. Why make such a simple action so much more unnecessarily difficult and cumbersome to use? Why? There is no logical reason. Anyone who actually has a proper logical explanation that can convince me otherwise, then please do voice it, because I want to hear. Why have they made this so stupidly difficult? And again, I'm using the term difficult here because it is not straightforward and quick as it used to be. Not because it is actually difficult, you know. Why? Just why? There's no reason for it. And there was another thing that I wanted to say about this, but it escaped me right now. I thought I just had it. Well, anyway, you saw how much extra time it took, and yeah, I don't like it. I hate it. I have no option but to use it, but I hate it. It's awful. It's just simply awful. Awful. And I don't even know if it is still possible to mention just a name. Is it? Community. What is this supposed to be exactly? My dragon search. No results found. Well, I don't know what this is then. What exactly are these? But this is funny. emotes made by the community. And that's another thing that used to be a little more straightforward. Sure, back in the day you would still have to click on a tool icon to get access to that, also these. But it was all in one single window. But this is just a minor nitpick. My actual issue is having to go here to avatars and type the thing you want just to have an emote, a please account on your text, or just to mention someone. Anyway, is it still possible to mention... Ugh, I hate this word emoji. Is it still possible to mention someone by just showing their name? Well, if it is, I can't find it in this toolbox. Maybe it isn't. Probably it's been removed completely. I would not be surprised at all. Anyway, that has been my rant for the day. Onwards with art. Okay, so... Boy, that was a long rant. I went almost a full hour ranting. How did I manage that? I guess I had stuff trapped in my chest. Anyway, so I did say I don't really know what to do today exactly. So I tried to think of what to do, went through works in progress that I have. Nothing really piqued my interest, but there's at least two things that I would try to do a little bit of progress on today, and they actually have to do with a couple pictures that are actually supposed to already be finished, but for reasons I just couldn't get them done yet. One is this here. And these two are actually related, if you remember. This picture here is supposed to be a sample of a new YCH template that I would like to put up for sale. So this is a sample, and this is supposed to be the actual templates. And let's bring the oh, that's not it. Yeah, that's the standard version. Yeah. So I opened this earlier, and clearly I haven't finished this. And I say this because when I finish something, I save a PSD file named final, and I don't have that yet for this one. So I opened this to check what is left to do here, and I cannot, for the life of me, see what is left to do here. I just can't. I don't know. Excuse me. But obviously there is something I just can't see. And then I remembered I still haven't really finished the YCH templates. I'm still not too sure of how else to proceed with this, because I'm sure there's still a few more things that I have to make so this is actually usable as a template. And frankly, I actually don't even remember what was the last thing that I did here. So I think I was making just line arts. Hey Reptane, happy Sunday. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Helping someone out with a new PC. No problem. Have fun with that. So yeah, I think it was last time I was doing just the just the line art. So whoever buys this YCH can draw their characters on the templates by themselves. Also, I was trying to figure out whether or not I need to draw different main styles myself, and how exactly to separate the main art, line art from the body. This is the first time that I'm doing stuff like this kind of stuff, so I don't really know what or how I should be doing this. It's much easier if I am the one using the line art, because I know my methods, but every artist has their own methods to go about with line art, so I have to figure out a way for my line arts to work with at least most artists. But I digress. So it looks like last time I was at least trying to make just the line arts for the templates. It looks like I may have finished the one for the stallion, but clearly I don't have one for the mare, not yet. And this isn't it. This is just a sample for whoever buys this template, not what they are actually supposed to be drawing on, unless they actually want to. The line arts, these here, are what they are actually supposed to be using. See that? Yeah. Okay, so it looks like on this one I still have to make line arts for the mare. I don't really want to do that today. I don't have the energy for it. I love working with vectors, and these are all vector lines. But they take time, and my brain is too fried to deal with that. So I'm not going to do that. But there is another thing that I can do on this template, and it is the background, because I believe I have finished the background on this picture here. We can certainly see a difference here on the rock and the shadow of the pony. See? And it's not a big difference, but it is there. I'm not too sure if I made any other any other changes to the background itself, but let's try to tweak this background a little bit. And I'll try to be quick with this, because there is another thing that I thought about doing today, and that is actually what the stream is named after. And I'll quickly show you what it is. So let's go here, Michael, Arts, Whip, OC Photoshop, and I moved this the project, the folder for this project to Nostalgia Art, which is a name I came up with a while back when I decided to draw like I used to back in 2009, and I even used Windows XP for that on stream. That was actually a fun experience. Surprisingly quite insightful too. I learned a few things that I had no idea I could do on Photoshop and even Open Canvas, which is a program that I don't use anymore, but I used all the time back in the day, and I didn't know about that. Anyway, here, work in progress, give that egg. So let's open this here. I actually kind of restarted this, I should say, maybe, on another nostalgia stream, which is another name that I only ever used nominally, because I never actually named any Chill Art Sunday nostalgia stream. Anyway. This picture was supposed to be my very first fan art of Spyro. I started this in 2010. That's been 14 years ago. Most Fortnite players are younger than that. I would never not make this joke. Even if it is a bad joke, I don't care. Anyway, and for some reason, I never finished this, and I cancelled this picture. I canceled this project. I decided I would never work on this anymore, and I have no idea why anymore. I know, I just can't remember. And when I decided to pick this back up, I looked and looked and looked. I had already started on the line arts back in the day, so I just keep asking myself, why did I decide to cancel this? Why did I decide to not go forward with this? So then, one Chill Art Sunday, or actually before one or after one, I can't remember, or in between, I decided to, that's the original date when I started this project. Look at that. Why did I put the day before the month? Yeah, whatever. I started this a long time ago. Anyway, point is, then I decided to resume this and actually finish it, but not to remake it and make it, let's say, modern with my current skills and, you know, make it look as nice as one of my more modern, more recent pictures like this here. Shading on this one here, for example, this is leagues, light years ahead of what I could do back in 2010. But for the sake of nostalgia and as part of the nostalgia stream stuff, I decided to pick this back up and finish it as close to as I would have done back in 2010. Wait, did that sentence make any sense? Hold up. I think I just confused myself. Well, what I mean is, I decided to pick this back up and finish this as I would have if I were still working on it on 2010. Now, obviously, I can't really do exactly as I would have done back then because, well, artistically speaking, I have evolved. But I can try. I can try to simulate, to emulate how I would have done it back in the day. I do remember a few things after all. And one of them is how I used to make line arts, which I hate that old way of making line arts. But in the interest of of finishing this like I would have done back in the day, I will have to do it that way. Which I don't like. Anyway, so that's why I will try to be quick with tweaking this background here, because I want to get onto that spiral picture, which is what the stream today is named after. So let me grab my pen. Let's go here to the background. And what am I gonna do here? I could try to add some wind-like effects like I did for, excuse me, like I did for Serenity here. Though looking at this background here, I can clearly say that I wasn't really inspired when I drew it. It's not bad, but I could have done better. Anyway, let's try to make it look a little nicer at least. Let's grab a small size for this brush. That might be too small. Or, yeah, let's go with 30. Yeah, that might be better. What the fudge? Why is it dark like that if I picked a bright color? Oh, I know why. It's because of the black here. This brush uses two colors. You know, let's use bright and brighter. Actually, no. A little darker like this, maybe. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it looks like crap. It actually kind of looks like it's vomit green. Ew, gross. Screw it, I'm just gonna open Serenity and sample a color from that. My brain is really not working. I can't be bothered with trying different shades myself. Serenity. Not Final, because Final does not have the color set layers. Oh, this is so much nicer compared to the other one. But I don't remember if I have sampled the color for the wind effect on the grass. Where even is that? Where is the layer for that? Should be inside grass. Yes. Grass light reflections. Yes, this is the layer. But yeah, there's no color set for it. But hopefully I will be able to sample it from here just fine. Let me remove the glow effect so I can more easily see the color. Yeah, there's actually not much here to sample from. Well, let's try it anyway. Let's see what this is going to look like. Why is it blue? Why is it a greenish blue? Fine, I'll just do the color myself. Do I have a color set for the grass that I have used here on this one? Oops, wrong layer. I do not. See, stuff like this is the reason why I always sample colors. I actually do have a sample for the colors of the grass. I am just stupid. I put them all in the same layer this time for this one. Okay, so now let's make this a little brighter and hopefully more vivid also. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, that might work. Alright. Let's hide the color set. Let's close this Alpha 3 here without saving because I don't need that anymore. I say that, but just watch me as I soon will open that again for some reason. Anyway. Okay, let's try to make this grass look nicer. Let's add a few waves around like that. This here is meant to give the illusion, so to speak, that there is wind blowing on the grass and it's making the grass move, you know? Let's go with a bigger brush for the grass that is closer to silver here. It also kind of helps a little bit, I think, with the lighting of the grass. Helps give it a little more highlighting. Yeah, let's not put anything there. Yeah, I think that is fine. So let's call this grass light effect 50% because I will give this a 50% opacity. Outer glow. Let's pick this. Make it a little lighter, I suppose. And increase the size. Okay, 50%, and I am not happy with that. Remember when I said just to watch me as I open the Serenity project again? Well, here we are. We are there. I want to copy this layer style and paste it here. I actually don't see much of a difference, but it's there. Oh yes, it is there, and it is better, even if just a teeny bit slightly. I like it. Now what is this other here? I have two of these? Oh, that's a different thing. That's a different thing altogether. Okay, never mind. I don't think this will actually apply very nicely to this one here. Or maybe it will. I'm going to copy this layer style, but let's make a new layer here. You know what? Hold up. I'm going to sample or rather save the sampling of these two colors here, just in case I might need them again. Grass light color set. Alright, that should do it. Now we can make a new layer. And with this new layer, well, first let me check if I have not already added any kind of extra lighting to the grass. Yeah, no, apparently I have not. Oh, this actually looks kind of nice. That's not bad. It's not very good either, but it's not bad. Alright. Let's have a soft round airbrush with a large size, say 700 perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. No, let's do 800. Now, what am I trying to accomplish with this? I want to try and make the grass have some extra highlighting, you know, more light to it. Give this a 50% opacity, and let's hide Silver Trot and the tree and the mushroom, because I need a full view of the thing I have just made. Where is the grass? The tree. There's the mushroom. Okay, just this is enough. Now with a soft round airbrush eraser, we are going to erase this extra layer just by the line of the grass, where the grass ends and the background begins, like that. Now that is not everything, of course, so let's hand make a selection like this and delete everything else that doesn't need to be here. And let's paste the layer style that I have copied from Serenity. I think that looks better. Let's re-enable the layers that I have hidden, and let's see what this looks like. Let's see, any others? Not that one. Okay, no, I think that's all. Yeah, that looks better. It makes the grass look like it is actually receiving sunlight, and makes it look more alive, don't you think? Yeah, I think it does. Grass, light. Wait, what is this actually supposed to be called? No, it's actually basically the same, just with a minor difference. Also, this is supposed to have a 50% written here. I will not save that now. Press light effects, 50%. There's actually two of them named the same. Ah, great. Hey, Dragon Boy, happy Sunday, welcome, thank you for joining. Understand how you're feeling. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much, Dragon Boy. Okay, you know what, let's rename this here, because otherwise I'm gonna get myself confused. Grass. I'm gonna call it wind effects, not light effects. I don't know why I named this effect on the other project. I don't know why I named it light effect. It's wind. It's supposed to be a wind-ish effect. Let me fix that real quick. Oh, I didn't name this light effect. I named this light reflections. Wow, I really am not doing very well in the head. I really am. Jesus Christ. There. And before I get myself confused again in the future with this. Wanna bet? If I had money, I would. Anyway. Okay, so that's that. And let's do the little wind thing that I did for Serenity. Let's make a new layer. Let's call this wind effect. And let's open Serenity again. Because I want to copy the layer style of that effect. Oh, this is a good idea actually. Add a few flying leaves around maybe. But I don't think that is actually going to work out well for the picture that I'm working on right now. Anyway, are there effects here? There actually are not. So yeah, that is just a brush then. Okay. What program do you use for art? Actually, because I would love to get on my PC, I could do my own thumbnails on the videos. Well, on my account, I guess. Photoshop. It's $5, correct? Hey, $5. Photoshop, $5. Oh, you are funny. No, but seriously. Even if it is $5, it is only $5 if you are willing to pay for it. Yar har, fiddle-dee-dee, being a pirate is over to me. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. No, but seriously, to actually answer your question, I don't use only Photoshop. All my art actually starts on Microsoft Paint. Yes, that Paint. Everything starts there. That's where I do all of my sketches. And then I import the sketches into CorelDRAW, where using vector lines I draw the final line art, and then I bring those lines into Photoshop, where I then color everything, do the effects, lighting, and well, what you are seeing here right now, for instance. I think this here is the brush that I want. Yes, I think it is. Or maybe it is this here. No, yeah, it is this other one here. So I actually use these three programs for my art. As for how much Photoshop costs, well, as I said, it depends on whether or not you are willing to pay for it, technically speaking. And frankly, considering Adobe's policies and how they treat their customers, even if I had the money, even if I could afford a subscription of Photoshop, I would rather not. The version of Photoshop that I am using is actually apparently the last one before they moved on to a subscription service format. I'm using Photoshop CS6. Okay, this is usually fine. I just need to make that effect way brighter. Thank you, Dragon Boy. Yeah, subscription services, they could go burn in hell for all I care. They are terrible. I'm okay with streaming some at least some streaming services being a subscription service, like Netflix, for example. It makes sense in that way. But for programs, software, or even games, it's just absurdly stupid. Even worse, now with the idea that companies have in their minds to make operating systems into a subscription service thing, like Microsoft is talking about of doing with Windows moving forward. It's so stupid. Like, you end up paying way more, a fortune more, for the software through the method of subscription than you would if you just paid one single amount for a license, because then you at least would have the program would actually be yours. You could use it as much as you want, install it wherever you want, and it would be there for you. You wouldn't have to pay a dime extra, unless you wanted, of course. And that's a different thing. What am I trying to do here, by the way? Why am I scrolling through the layers? What the hell am I trying to do? Oh, I'm trying to hide the tree. The tree and the mushroom. I need a clear view of the grass. Also, let's remove the skylight for now. Exactly, Dragon Boy. Exactly. Okay, I don't think I got... Either the size of this brush is wrong, or I have got the color wrong. Okay, this is better. Maybe a few floating leaves around should be fine. Let me bring back just the trunk over here. Yeah, that seems fine. The hell are you talking about? Windows 7 sucking? It doesn't. It is the best. Oh, that's the wrong key. Fudge. Windows 7 is the best version of Windows after Windows XP. Windows 7 is like the best of the best, first place, and then in second place is Windows XP. And I know many people will disagree with that, and I see where you're coming from, but you have to bear in mind that Windows 7 is also more modern than XP. Mind you, I love XP. In my view, Windows 7 is like a better XP. Well, sounds to me, Dragon Boy, that you have a hardware problem there, not a Windows problem. Because Windows 7 is amazing. I love 7. I would still be using Windows 7 if my hardware supported it, but sadly it does not. So much easier and simpler to use. Everything is so more straightforward. I hate what they are doing with Windows. Yeah, this should be better. Let's try adding a few flying leaves. Let's see what that is going to look like. Let's sample some green from these leaves here. And let's find ourselves a nice leaf brush. One that can work nicely with his effects. How do I get better hardware? Oh, you buy it. That's literally it, you buy it. Normally on nice streamers on top. You're gonna... Yeah, the only way you can get better hardware is to literally go to a store or order online and buy it. You can't download hardware. Unlike some people say that you can download more RAM, you actually can't. My god, I am really not doing well. I'm looking for a nice leaf brush, but these are not even leaf brushes, these are mountains. Oh my god, I didn't even realize these are mountains. Jesus Christ. These are leaves. Oh, none of these seem to fancy. I seem to fancy these, I mean. I have more leaves though. Are these leaves? No. I don't think these are leaves. Ah, these are leaves. Well, kinda. It would be nice to if I could find the same leaf brush that I used on Serenity. And these are legacy brushes, so what I'm looking for is not there. No, those are suns, more trees. So many trees. Yeah, these are leaves. It's gotta be one of these. That is not a leaf. I don't know what that is. What is this? What is the name? That is actually supposed to be a leaf. Well then. Count me baffled. More leaves here. These are actually actual plants, not just loose leaves. Where do you buy it? I have no idea what store you get them from. Computer stores, of course. Computer hardware stores. Yeah, I have a lot of leaf brushes, but none of them are the ones that I'm looking for. Well, one of them is, I just haven't found it yet. Oh, come on, Mike. Find that leaf brush. We still have to work on that other picture today. I am, of course, talking to myself, in case you guys haven't noticed. Maybe it was this here. Single leaf, let's try this. Yeah, this maybe might work. Now I just have to increase the, what is it called again? Sparsity? Scarcity? Scattering. No, not that. No, not that either. Yes, that. That is a lot of leaves. Maybe a little too many. Or I am just using the wrong size of brush. It could be that. Let's try a smaller size. After all, I do want these leaves to look like they are actually a little bit far away. Yeah. Try a different shade of green. Yeah, this brush is nice, but it's not quite what I want. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it, Dragon Boy? And that's why I have these brushes, otherwise I would have to manually draw every single leaf, which I can do, but let's face it, I don't have like 500 years to sit here and draw one by one. I barely know how to draw a single one, let alone a whole tree of them. Navigant? Navigant card. What is that? I have no idea what you are talking about. Oh, where did those leaves go? These are grass, flames. No, Navigant is a bank card. I see. No, I live in a different country than you. As far as I can tell, we don't have that bank here. Oh, it was one of these leaves that I used on Serenity. Let's find a nice one. I remember trying this one. I even joked that it looks a little bit like mango tree leaves. Yeah, this here might work nicely. We just need it to be smaller. 50. All right. Let's increase its scattering. Okay. Let's sample some nice green from these leaves and the grass. Oops. Oh, you know what? If I make this brush bigger, maybe I can make it look like this is too big. Maybe I can make it look like some leaves are falling off the tree. Oh, that might be a good idea. If I do it right, of course. Something's weird. Oh, why is the opacity for the brush at 10% for some reason? I did not change this. Yeah, fudge, I keep clicking the wrong thing. My god. Yeah, this might be a good idea, just not on this layer. Oh, did I accidentally undo the leaves that I added here? Oh, come on. Why did I do that? I'm gonna have to do it again. God damn it. Alright, let's name this layer before anything else happens. What should I name it? I'll name it Wind Leaves. Just for the sake of yes. Have I added any extra effects to these wind leaves here? No, I haven't. Good. Thanks, Dragon Boy. Glad you enjoy them. Some of them aren't even jokes, it's just me ranting. Ranting like an old man. Man. Okay, wind leaves. Let's make now a new layer. between the tree trunk and the actual leaves of the tree. Where's the layer with the tree leaves? Ah, here. Jesus Christ, I'm blind. Okay, for these I will sample the same colors as the leaves on the tree. And, naturally, make the brush larger. You're off to play a game? No problem, Dragon Boy, have fun there. Enjoy. Alright, we don't need that many leaves falling off the tree. Alright, this scene is not supposed to be autumn. So let's remove all of those. And let's say, yeah, we can keep it. Now, let's remove these. Let's move this one up a little bit, like that. And name this layer Falling Leaves. And there we go. Now we can re-enable all of these layers that I have hidden. Oh, that is looking so much nicer. Though I need to hide the color set for the grass. Where did I put that? My god, where's the color set for the grass? Did I put these two on a layer they are not supposed to be on? I did, didn't I? DeviantArt and he's making a commission. Yeah, nice, you told me about that commission. Nice, hopefully it will turn out really good. I totally put that on the layer that I was not supposed to. No, never mind, it's right here, I found it. Yeah, I'm not well. Oh yeah, Silvertrot, I forgot to unhide him. Yeah, this is looking much nicer now. So much nicer. Okay, now I think I can actually say this picture is finished. Let's save. Always remember to frequently save your progress, my friends. No matter what you are doing. Always frequently save your progress. And I just lied. It's not really that finished. There is one other thing I would like to try. I kind of liked the mountains I made here for Serenity. I want to see what these might look like on this other picture here. Do I have a color set for the mountains that I can sample from? Yes, I do. Though I will have to hide a few other layers, because I think there's stuff in front of that and therefore affecting the color. Yeah, that should be it. Alright, I made a new layer. Let's find those rock brushes that I used for those mountains. Let's get a fray in. Dragon scales. No, definitely not. Moons and planets. think these are rocks. Yeah. Yes, they are. Just have to find suitable ones. Here's one of the bursts that I used on that one. Yes, I know, that's a repeat of the same. It's just so I can have an idea of what adding this kind of mountain back there might look like. No, it doesn't work well for this picture, so forget about it. Okay, so I think this sample picture is finished, so let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up by first saving this as a new file and finally naming it Final. And now I can clear up all of the layers that I don't need anymore. So delete those and that. All of these. And this one. All of these. Yes, there is one here too. That's weird. Why is it not asking me now if I am sure I want to delete the layer? It was asking just a moment ago. Ooh. I forgot to re-enable this here. Maybe a little bit of tweaking to this here. It might be a little too bright as it is. Let's make this 30%. Yeah, 30% is better. Alright, let's make a new group here, and this is where I'm going to have my watermark. And let's open the watermark file. This one? Yes, this one. Keep it smoother, yes. Yeah, this size here will do. Yeah, 8 pixel size, that would do fine. Opacity 10% as usual. And there we have it. Now the placeholder for this picture currently is Silver Does a Black. I could go with that, but I think that's a little too, well, not creative exactly. Should I rename it though? Oh, hold up, I think I have an idea. So this picture here is basically kind of the same idea as this one, at least close enough. Maybe I should give this one that name and have this be like the modern version of this one. If you guys remember, I drew this one on the first nostalgia stream on Windows XP of all things. I tried to simulate, to replicate, to emulate my art skills from 2009. So I tried to make this picture here as I probably would have done it, if I had done it back in 2009, which is why it looks so simplistic like this and stuff. So yeah, I suppose we could call this Blap on a Hill as well. Rename this one to something else so we can more easily distinguish between them. Well, then again, on this one, Silver is just doing a blap. On this one, he's doing a blap and looking at a butterfly on his nose. Oh, that's so cute. I'll give this some extra thought. For now, I will not touch this any further. I will not save this as a PNG yet. What I will do is bring everything from the background group over to the YCH template and replace this background here. And I don't think I'll have to do anything to the foreground. I will. I actually will. So let's import both the background and the foreground groups. The merge group, no, duplicate group. There. Duplicate it to Pony YCH template, yes. And same thing with foreground. Now let's reposition them. I'll rename this one so I won't get myself confused. Foreground.old, sure, why not? And background.old. Yeah, there we go. It's so much nicer of a background. Let's save this and oh, also the rock the pony is sitting on. Let's bring that from Silvertrots. Oh, wait a minute. I think the rock is part of the background. Oh yes, it is. It already is part of the background. Let's close this. I don't think I will need it anymore. Hopefully. Yeah, it is part of the background. It's the shadow being cast by the pony that I have to bring over to the YCH. At least to use it for the stallion version of the template. Because for the mare, I'm gonna need a different layer. Not a layer. A different shadow. Silver tail shadow. Well, that's not just the shadow for his tail, that's the shadow for his entire body. Silver shadow. Yeah, wow, he looks so weird without his mane and tail, Jesus. Yeah, this layer is what I want. Save this. Let's rename this layer to Stallion Shadow. Let's apply it to the base here. Wait, did I wrote Stallion with two L's? I did. Yeah, that looks much better than the old one. Now let's duplicate this and have it applied to the line art group. Because this application here is just... Why did you go down there? What the crap? Fine. Because this application here is just for... Wait a second. Yeah, okay, that is correct. This application here is just for the sample, not for the actual line art. Oh, the actual line art didn't even have a shadow layer. Well, now it does. And there we go. Okay, so for this YCH template, I now have the background completely finished, the foreground effect is finished. I don't think I'm gonna need to do anything else on those. All I have to do is finish the actual templates for a character. I'm not going to say for the character, because this meant to be a template for any character. Well, any character can go here. Point is, as soon as I can, I will have to draw the line arts in a way that can be used by basically anyone. I've got to draw the Mare version of these line arts here. For the moment, I declare this done. It isn't really, but I do declare it done. And this here is also, this one is actually not simply done, it is finished. I just need to figure out the name, the final name. I might end up going with just Silver Does a Blap, but yeah, I don't know, that doesn't sound very creative, you know. Okay, let's close this. And now finally, for the thing the stream itself is actually named after, this old picture from all the way back in 2010. Let's finally work on this thing. I'll just turn on my light first because it is starting to get dark in here. And I can barely see my keyboard anymore. Okay, let me see. Where was I last time that I worked on this thing? It looks like I was drawing the line art of Spyro's wing. And by the way, for those of you who are arriving at the stream now or shortly ago, this is a picture that I started back in 2010. Never finished it. Decided to cancel it for some reason, and then I decided to pick it back up and finish it. But finish it as if I had done it in 2010. That is, draw it to completion, trying to do it as I would have done if I did finish this in 2010. So when done, this would definitely not look as nice and polished as something new that I do nowadays. Yeah, it looks like I was working on his wings here, the line art for the wings. And the belly horns, wings membrane. Wait a second. I have not saved a sample of this color here. Is this color for the wing, for the line of the wing, supposed to be the same as his underbelly? 209, 157, 59. 209, 157, 59. Well, actually, I can just click here. Don't need to close this. No, it is different. Is it this color here then? Oh, it is. I'm using the same color as the crest. Why? I don't know why, but there must have been a reason. Which begs the question now then, why have I not named this here as wings / crest? That's the wrong layer, frick. There, that's the layer that I want. Why can't I write this W? Wings slash crest. Oh, I'm supposed to write using this color. Oops. Oh, hold up, gotta erase this here also. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Now I will not confuse myself anymore. Okay. Now, what brush size was I using for these? Well, first, let's pick the correct color. This seems too thick. Yeah, I guess I was using thickness number 4. Okay. Oh yeah! Back in 2010, when I originally started this picture, I was not drawing line arts using my tablet. I already had a drawing tablet at the time, but the final line arts, I wasn't making them using the tablet and the pen. No. And this was also before I started using vector lines with CorelDRAW. I was drawing with the mouse, but not free-handing with the mouse, no. I was doing it like this. Click on one point, hold the Shift key, click on another, and another, and another, and another, and so on and so forth until everything's done. This was the only way I could find at the time. I still feel like these lines are too thick, at least thicker than they are supposed to be. Was I using brush number 3 actually? No, it's got to be number 4. Anyway, this was the only way, and I'm gonna have to start over, crap. This was the only way I could figure it out at the time to get line arts done without having them being all wobbly and without having to go through the hassle of drawing and redrawing every single line over and over again until I got it right. It is time consuming, but even this, I think it's less time consuming than having to redraw them over and over. It's certainly less frustrating. And this is one of the reasons why I eventually started using vectors for my line arts. I still freehand them in sketch form, but for the actual final line art that I'm going to be using on the final version of the picture, that's all vectors, my guy. That's all vectors. It does kind of look thicker. It can't be though. It just can't. Because any thinner than this, and I will have to use thickness number 3, and that is too thin. I can't say if this method isn't tedious, however. It is very slow. No, crap. I made a mistake there. No, that's still not good. His head has to be rounder. Ah, crap. See, that's one of the problems with making mistakes with using this method. If you undo something, you have to pick a spot and click there again to continue the line like this. And the problem with that is that it can make a few gaps on the line arts, which you then later have to go and correct them depending on how bad they are. Like here, I'm gonna have to make a small correction there later. Seriously, why does this look so much thicker than that? It can't be any thinner. It's number 3 and it's too thin. Look at the difference. I am so confused. I'm gonna drink water. Do I want to draw that line art, the line art for the other wing on a different layer? Was I doing that back then? I don't remember. I want to say I probably was, but I honestly don't remember. Let me look at some old picture from that era. Imagine having to reference yourself. No, these are newer than 2010. Still newer. Getting close. Hold up. What number is on the plate of this car here? This car has the year I drew this on. This is from 2010. Okay, now I just have to find some picture with dragons where both wings are visible, side by side. Yeah, this here should be a good example. Unexpected result. What date is this from? 2010. Yep. I believe the same with this one. Yeah, I think those wings are on different layers indeed. They gotta be. These wings are horrible. Oh my god. Let's open this project on Photoshop and confirm if I am right. Let's take a look at those awful wings. Any sense? Oh, such ugly wings. Jeez. Oh, this is also from before I started using groups to organize my layers. Oof, that's really rough. That's not what is it, kitty? You're not going to fart again, are you? Yeah, meow to you too. Anyway. Complain about how I drew these wings in 14 years ago. That's not why we have this picture on screen right now. Yes, The wings are indeed on different layers. Good, that is what I wanted to see. Oh well, not to see, to confirm. So let's name this here left wing right line arts. And then I will make another one, another layer for the other wing. And it will be called right wing line arts. There we go. Now let's go ahead and make the line art for this, shall we? Am I on the right layer? Yes. I remember when I had the idea for this picture, I had just finished playing Spyro 3 for the PlayStation. I don't have a PlayStation for the record. I played the original trilogy at the time, all 3 games via emulation, using only a keyboard as a controller. It worked okay at the time. Not something I would do again now. Not now that I have controllers anyway. But I digress. I had the idea for this picture after finishing. I'm gonna have to do this again. After finishing Spyro 3, and I think I really enjoyed the ending, where Spyro gets so fed up with Moneybags that he chases Moneybags around and smacks Moneybags on the rear end with his horns and flames Moneybags a lot until Spyro gets all of his gems back. All of the gems he had to pay to Moneybags throughout the entire game, he gets them back. Seriously, this line is definitely thinner. I don't know why, and that is really bothering me. And yeah, that's where this picture came from. And I still don't know why I decided to never finish this. Why I decided to cancel it originally. Hold up. That. Okay, that should do it. Now for the membrane of his wings. Let's hide the right wing first. Back then, would I have made a different layer to draw these line arts here? Or would I have done it on the same layer as this? One way or another, this new line art that I'm about to draw is going to be on the same layer as the line art of the wing itself. But if I just do it on this layer, colors are going to overlap like that. Nowadays, to prevent this, I would use a different layer. But I don't remember if back then I would have done it. You know what? I'm just gonna use a different layer. Better be safe than sorry. Crap. I'm gonna have to start this over. I think I just did the exact same mistake on the exact same spot again. Could I not? There we go, that's better. Draw using a mouse, even if just holding shift to make lines like this, is a skill that I have long forgotten. It's been collecting dust for at least 15 years, and I have to say, I do not miss this skill. I don't miss drawing with a mouse. I know what, since we are here, let's carry on and do this side. There we go. Mind you, the line arts, the sketch line arts that I am following right now for the final line arts are the exact same ones I drew back in 2010. So if anything appears wonky, blame past me. Yeah, that'll do. So now we can merge these two together, and I'll have to rename the layer. Great. Left wing line art. Good. And it looks like I won't really have to do the same thing for the right wing, or will I? Yeah, I guess not. Alright, let's save. Let's draw now the line art for Spyro's crest. That is using that color, so I don't have to change colors. Let's make a new layer right here and call it crest line art. Now, normally when I present such old art on the Chill Art Sunday and I work on it trying to simulate how I would have done it back in the day had I finished said art when I actually started it, at least in the same year, I usually also work using the same operating system and preferably also the same programs that I was using back at the time. But at the time that I was working on this picture, that I started it, I was using Windows 7 and I believe I was on Photoshop CS2. Now my second PC over here on my side, which is the one where that I use to monitor the stream, it is running Windows 7, but the Photoshop installed on that I believe is also Photoshop CS6. And I don't intend on uninstalling CS6 or installing CS2 on top. Besides, for the actual methods of drawing the line arts and whatnot, I don't really need that old version of Photoshop, or Windows for that matter. I would rather use Windows 7, sure, but it's not necessary. Now, I still could be doing this on Windows 7 regardless, and I actually thought about doing it that way. But then I would have to set up the tablet on that PC. It is installed, it would be basically a matter of just plugging it into that PC, but the thing is, I would then have to reach behind my PC to unplug the USB, and then reach behind the other PC to plug the USB there. And I would probably have to go, let me drink some water real quick. Would maybe have to go into some settings and verify if everything is working. You know, do a lot of preparations that I don't really have the energy to do. It's much quicker to just use my current tools and just simulate the old ways this way. It's certainly more convenient. So there's that. This is definitely going to take a while. And I have to be very careful and as precise as I can, because this line is rather thin. So if I make mistakes here, it might be hard to fix them later. And I want all of these lines to be as smooth as I can make them. Using this method anyway. Now, where I'm making this picture with my, let's say, modern ways, let's call it that. Where I'm making this picture with my modern ways, I would be using CorelDRAW and vectors for these lines. It actually would be way more time consuming to make them than this has been. I'm going to skip a few songs because these are copyrighted. I never remember to fix this playlist. Ugh. Skip. Yeah, that'll do. What was I saying? Yeah. So using vectors to draw these. Hold up. I think I need to hide the wings for a moment. Not necessarily, but I'll do anyway. It would actually be more time consuming to use vectors to draw these lines, but they would be far more precise and better drawn than with this method here. And it would also be less frustrating. The only downside is that they would be more time consuming to make. But frankly, that is one downside that, despite the fact that I don't like it, it is one downside that I am willing to put up with, just so I can get my lines done nicely. And without causing me frustration. Now, I drew Spyro back in 2010 with all of this, well, with his entire crest running along his entire back. But now that I think of it, I don't remember Spyro actually having this. Does he? Why did it autocomplete that? No, I want to type this on Google. No, I don't want to see the reignited Spyro. I want to see the original Spyro. Oh, that is really cute. Really good art. I don't think his back has those crests. Well, in game apparently he doesn't. but official art of the time, it looks like he does. Yeah, he does have the crest. He does have the crest. That's funny though. Classic Spyro had the crest, but Reignited Trilogy Spyro does not. Instead, he has these bumps, lumps, whatever these are, along his back. I like it. It's really nice. I think it's actually a better design. But wow, I never realized that they made this change on his design. Oh, this looks awesome. Is that supposed to be Spyro? Oh, this is awesome. A more realistic looking Spyro. I like it. I'm gonna save this to my collection. Why a WebP file? I hate these. Why do these exist? Anyway, this is amazing. Look at this. Just noticed there's a sheep running there. Hey, there's another one over there. Oh, this is awesome. And his wings aren't weird in this version. This is really awesome. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. I have never realized that on the Reignited version of Spyro, they removed the crest along his back. And instead gave him those lumps. I say lumps, but they are actually just scales. Bigger scale, that's so cute. It's a nice design change. It's just one that I am kind of surprised I have never realized. Alright, back to this then. So anyway, I actually can keep going with this crest. Spyro on this version is supposed to have the crest. This here is, after all, classic Spyro. Reignited Trilogy didn't even exist when I drew this. So at the time, as far as the original trilogy and the sequels are concerned, Spyro's design officially does have this crest. Wait a second. Does Spyro have this crest on Enter the Dragonfly and or A Hero's Tale? I don't remember Spyro having these on those games either. I am very curious. Let's go. Enter the Dragonfly, Spyro. Not Arch, just Spyro. Yeah, I can't see it. It's too small. In game, he doesn't seem to have those that crest along his back. He has on the back of his head, but not along his body. I would like to see some official art. Oh, this supposedly it. That game came out in 2002? Really? I thought it was newer than that. On official art, he seems to have this the crest. Just not in game. Does he actually? Promo art. This should give me better results. Or not. Well, until proven otherwise, it looks like Spyro does have that crest. That is really nice. Does have the crest on Enter the Dragonfly. at least on official art anyway. Let's see A Hero's Tale. Not that it matters, because the picture that I'm drawing is based on the first 3 games. Spyro does have the crest in-game on A Hero's Tale. That is cute, kinda. I don't know why Spyro is so fat in this picture, but the thing with this one is that this is AI generated. How much are you guys willing to bet this is AI made? And let's have the word made with many quotations, because AI doesn't really make anything new. It just grabs stuff real people made and garbles it together with other stuff. Yep, there it is. AI. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. Why is there weird art showing here? Ugh, I don't like it. Oh, this is good. Yeah, up to A Hero's Tale, Spyro still has his crest. It's just a bit different. Oh, this is really awesome. I like it. And real art made by a real artist. Retail robbery on DeviantArt. This is good. Okay, so yeah, Spyro does have his crest, just not in game for most of the games of the original. I want to say original sequel, but that's wrong. The original continuity. That's what I was trying to say. Which, speaking of, you know when some people say, "Ah, we want Spyro 4. When are they finally gonna make Spyro 4?" We want a Spyro 4. Will Toys for Bob finally make Spyro 4 after Reignite a trilogy? Rumors say that Toys for Bob is working on Spyro 4. Guys, Spyro 4 has already happened. Whether you like it or not, Spyro 4 is Enter the Dragonfly. Spyro 5 is A Hero's Tale. And canonically speaking, in terms of the story, A Shadow Legacy on the Nintendo DS is Spyro 7. So in reality, the correct thing to say is to ask for Spyro 9, not Spyro 4. And sure, I suppose it maybe kind of can be fair to ignore the existence of Enter the Dragonfly and A Shadow Legacy, although I never played that game, but I heard it's pretty bad. But there's no way we can actually ignore A Hero's Tale. The Blink sections on that game, I actually don't like those either. I don't know anyone who likes those. But the rest of the game is a delight. It has great music, the graphics are amazing, it is fun. It's absolutely a Spyro game. There is no reason for that game to get any hate, let alone be ignored. So if we are to ignore some Spyro game, then sure, I can agree with ignoring Enter the Dragonfly and Spyro Legacy, Shadow Legacy, but ignore A Hero's Tale, no. So at most, if not ask for Spyro 8, or Spyro 9 I said actually, then at least ask for Spyro 5, and consider A Hero's Tale with Spyro 4, because that game is absolutely a true Spyro game sequel. And it still takes place in the same story continuity as the original first 3 games. But A Hero's Tale is not a real Spyro game. Who are you to say what a real Spyro game is? I'll tell you who. No one. And I don't mean to be rude, but that is simply the truth. Not even I am ready to say what is a real Spyro game. Because saying such a thing implies that you, and you alone, knows what an actual Spyro game should be like. And unless you can make it, and make it official, then your argument is technically invalid. So yeah, to sum up, ask for Spyro 9, or at most Spiral 5, if you prefer to ignore Enter the Dragonfly and the Shadow Legacy. Just not ask for Spiral 4, because Spiral 4 already has happened. And it's good. And speaking of, A Hero's Tale is a game that I intend on playing on the Gaming Friday eventually as a long series playthrough, now that I have finished Bridal Witch Chronicles. And I dare say, probably, maybe even Enter the Dragonfly too. Because I have to be honest with you, and despite all of its flaws, I actually kind of like Enter the Dragonfly. Though having said that, I always thought that I beat my copy of Enter the Dragonfly, that I 100%, excuse me, that I 100%ed it, but going through some old saves, actually no, not simply going through some old saves, one of these days I remembered about Enter the Dragonfly and how I claimed on stream that I did complete it 100%. So I grabbed a copy of my save from, I have a physical copy of the game. And if you remember from quite a few streams ago, I soft modded my Wii so I could back up all my saves. And I've managed to back up the saves from my GameCube SD card? No, from my GameCube memory card, to use those saves on the computer with an emulator. So I grabbed a copy of the save of Enter the Dragonfly, booted up on the Dolphin emulator, and I'm done with the crest. Let's move on. Let's do his right legs. I booted up on the emulator, and turns out I actually have not finished Enter the Dragonfly. I clearly remember that I did not like the game, so it wasn't like, I don't want to play this game anymore, you know? But I don't remember why I have never picked it back up again. Maybe because other stuff ended up happening and I lost focus. But the point is, I never finished that game for some reason. Right, legs, line art. Now, of course, for the stream, I would start a fresh new, brand new. Right, that's redundant. A brand new playthrough, of course. I will not pick up from where I was. Not to say that I don't intend on finishing that save at some point. I do. But for playing the game on a stream, it's gonna be a fresh save. Now the thing with Enter the Dragonfly, as far as I am aware, I used the wrong thickness for this brush. I'm gonna have to start this over. That was supposed to be brush number 4. Let me check something on my phone real quick. So much spam. Anyway, the thing about Enter the Dragonfly, at least as far as I am aware, is that the game isn't bad because the developers were bad. The developers actually wanted to make a good game there. They tried. The problem is that the studio was meddling too much with the development of the game. This seriously looks much thicker than it should be. And I'm gonna have to start this over. And the studio gave the developers only just a few months to make the game. So they literally did not have the time to properly finish the game. The game is actually literally in an unfinished state. That's why it has so many bugs. It has things that seem to be unfinished, certainly very unpolished. And that is why it is how it is. Had the developers been given the time they needed, it would have been a much better game. What is it, kitty? And that goes to show you how much of a difference having the time you need to finish something actually makes on the development of a game. And Hero's Tale, for example, as far as I can tell, that game had the proper time to be worked on, and is a far superior game in all aspects. Man, yeah, what a shame. Tomorrow's weather: Campo Grande, sunny, high 31 degrees Celsius, low 21 degrees Celsius. Thank you, Windows. So it's gonna be warm tomorrow. Let's save. Now I was talking about the original trilogy and its sequels, and I call them the what did I call them again? Crap, I can't remember. But I think I called it original continuity. Yes, the original continuity. Wait a second, what is this line here? Oh, okay, it's supposed to be something like that, okay. I call it the original continuity. Even though, and also I was talking about Spiral 5, Spiral 9, but never once I mentioned the Legend of Spyro trilogy, which came after A Hero's Tale. And I did that on purpose. Because the thing is, well, first of all, I love the Legend of Spyro trilogy. I love it. I adore it. I really like all Spyro games, but the Legend of Spyro trilogy, especially Dawn of the Dragon, those are my favorites. And mind you, I didn't grow up playing Spyro, so it's not like I have nostalgia, childhood nostalgia for Spyro. I don't. I can't. My first time playing a Spyro game, I was already an adult. But that's besides the point. The point is, I made that separation on purpose and didn't mention the Legend of Spyro trilogy, because the Legend of Spyro trilogy is a completely different continuity. In a way, it basically takes place in a different universe. It's actually kind of hinted in-game on the opening of the first game, A New Beginning, The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning, when Ignitus is narrating the events that took place that led to him losing Spyro's egg. I may not remember verbatim, word by word, exactly what he says, but he does mention that at the very start, that the story we are about to play takes place in a world beyond the realms. And I am very sure that line is actually supposed to be a reference to the original continuity, because at least in all of those games, but particularly the first three games, even in game, the dragons, as far as I remember anyway, they do refer to their worlds as dragon realms. So I do think that line that says "in a world beyond the realms" is referencing that and trying to imply that this Spyro we are about to play actually takes place in a sort of parallel universe, which obviously would explain why all of those three games are so much different from the from the original continuity. You know, the first 3 games plus Enter the Dragonfly and The Hero's Tale. And I think those legs are done. Let's see what I'm gonna do next. So yeah, that's why I did not mention The Legend of Spyro when I was talking about the original continuity. Because they technically do not exist. Actually, they literally don't really exist as far as the original continuity goes. They are their own continuity. And I love them all the same, maybe even more. And I'm very saddened that they never continue that continuity. There's so much potential there. Seriously awesome. Alright, let's draw these lines here. I think for that I'm gonna need this color. Right? Right. There was a slight difference there in the numbers when I sampled one of these, when I sampled this color, if you might have noticed. But that was because I clicked on the wrong pixel. Yeah, body line arts, this is what I want, so let's save. I haven't saved in a while. Actually, for this I will use thickness number 2. I like Dawn of the Dragon so much that no matter how many times I play and beat that game, I just simply cannot get tired of it. And I have lost count of how many times I have played that game and beat it. Well, I actually could have a count if I actually want to. All I gotta do is count the saves. Such a good game. My god, that cat has farted again. Jesus, what's wrong with this cat? It's not my cat Bob, you know, the white fuzzy one. It's that younger one who that adopted himself into our family. What has that cat been eating? We only feed them cat kibble. Ah, disgusting. Alright, that is done. Have I ever finished all line arts for Moneybags over here? I might. Yes, I think I have. So I only gotta do Spyros and then color everything and of course draw the backgrounds. Oh, backgrounds? There's going to be only one background. What am I thinking? Oh, that's right. I'm not thinking at all. I kind of lost that ability. Now, 2024 me must question, shouldn't there be another horn visible here? But 2010 me probably figured that the answer would be a no, because being completely sideways like this, the other horn would be obscured by this horn. and that was probably my line of thoughts. But 2024 me is very bugged that 2010 me decided it should be this way. And also 2024 me really wants to draw another horn here for the sake of perspective. And although this is going to go against the idea of making this picture like I would have done in 2010, I think I would do it. It doesn't have to be something very detailed. just that should be enough. No, I won't do it. I won't do it. I set off to make this as I would have done in 2010. I will stick to it. I drew it this way back then. That's how I'm gonna finish it now. And if I want anything, if I want this picture to be any better, then I'll just draw it over from scratch, as I would now in 2024 or 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, whenever I ever actually get around to redrawing this, if ever. I think next has got to be Spyro's claws, but I'm gonna do that after a brief bathroom break. I'll be right back, everybody. Alright everybody, I am back. Okay, let's draw Spyro's claws now, shall we? I think I'll start here with his right legs. Let's make a new layer, and these will have to go a thinner thickness. Not like that. Let's start down here. Now I'm drawing these on a separate layer, but they are actually supposed to be on the same layer. I will merge them later when I am done. Okay, let me make a quick correction right here. There. Yeah, I should definitely redraw this at some point. Make it better and more modern. And by more modern, and by more, I was going to say morning. And by more modern, what I mean is draw it with my current skills and stuff. Yeah, just that will be enough. Okay, so we can merge these. I misspelled line arts, didn't I? Yeah, that'll do. Wait a minute. I knew it. The claws I drew here, they belong on another layer, not where I put them. I thought something was off here. Now these belong to his left legs. For this small correction, I will use my pen. Yeah, that should do it. Now, we can work on this. Actually, not quite, not yet. Let me merge these together first. There. Let's copy this, paste. There we go. Let's give this 50% opacity so I have a little more contrast, or less in this case. Apparently I'm gonna need a different color. That's fine. Let's see, let's try blue. No, not that blue. Something darker. Yeah, this would do. Now, why have I done this, you might wonder? Well, that's because there's some small corrections that I have to apply on the purple line art and the white, which is not really white, but rather a very light shade of gray. But you know what I mean. There, I mean, it might not be perfect, but hopefully I have managed to eliminate at least most of the gaps that probably existed there. Which I think there might be a little bit of that there. No, sapphire, wrong color. There. Alright, Spyro, what is left for me to do here on you? Hey, welcome back, Reptane. I think line arts wise, everything is done. What there is next to do, however, is apply corrections. And that is one of the reasons why I moved on to using vector lines. Okay, I need some good contrast to find flaws on the line arts. This might do. And for these fixes I actually can go back to using the tablet. Alright, let's begin with Moneybags, since he was the first one I drew the line arts for. Ow, my finger. Things seem to be fine here. It's a really simplistic call. Okay, here I think I can apply a few fixes, but I should save this as a different file first, because these fixes are going to be a more significant change. Did I save that on the right folder? Yes, I think. Seems like it. I am on the wrong layer. Okay, this is the layer that I want. So this here that I'm doing right now is not really a correction, but more of what I today call the pointification of line art. Except when I do pointification, I have already explained this several times on streams. I'm not going to explain again. If you want to know the actual explanation, go back to some Geoart Sunday where I am drawing vectors, line art with vector lines in CorelDRAW. Anyway, Uh, the hell was I saying? Yeah. Normally, when I use the term pointification, I am working with vectors on CorelDRAW. But before I started doing that on CorelDRAW with vectors, I was doing it in Photoshop like this, with lines like these, by using the eraser. Although at the time I had not yet made up the word pointify or pointification. Oh, you voted today? I hope you made a good choice. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Not really applying fixes, but pointifying some of the lines. And that is part of the process of going over and looking for flaws to fix. Is actually to pointify lines. To try and make them a little sharper and nicer. And maybe even a little more cartoony in some way. Right-wing politicians are usually a better choice, much better choice. But I have learned that, well, actually I was going to say nonsense, never mind. Anyway, I hope it is indeed a good choice. Because there's also the fake right-wingers. People who pose as right-wing to gain power. But they pose, I am on the wrong layer again, fudge. They pose as right-wing to gain power, and when they get there, they reveal themselves to be actually leftists. And then they screw everything all over. God, I am still on the wrong layer. Oh my God. Am I on the right layer now? Yes. Finally. Thank you. Here, let's pointify this line on Moneybags' teeth. This would look so much better as a vector line. Now right here we need a small correction. Oh, I see a free-handed his eye over here, his eye socket. I can tell by the difference of thickness that we had right here and here. It looks like I started here, went around, and then ended the line right there. By the way, did you know, since we were talking about Spyro's games, did you know that Michael Dorn, the actor who played Lieutenant Commander Worf in Star Trek, did you know that he played, he made a few voices on Enter the Dragonfly? I didn't know that until last week. Now, I really want to know which characters he voiced. He is credited as providing extra voices only, but nothing specific. No specific character. I am really curious to know which characters got his voice. So you guys remind me, whenever I get around to playing Enter the Dragonfly on stream, remind me to pay attention to the voices. Let's see if I can hear Klingon. I think I have already pointified this line here, so let's not touch it again. This here needs some pointification. I guess that should be about it. For money bags, anyway. Hold up. Is that black line supposed to be over the blue one? I suppose. Alright, Spyro, my boy. You're up next. Let's begin here with your left wing. I drew those claws on the same layer as the left wing. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? That's fine. This is easily fixable. All I gotta do is duplicate this layer and erase something, and then merge it with the body line arts layer. That's all I gotta do. I think I'll remove the claws from this layer, and from this one I will remove the wing. Yeah, so now we only have those claws in this layer. And now merge down. There we go. Problem solved, problem fixed. Anyway, shall we start with this wing here, I guess? Yeah, let's do it. Let's hide all others so I don't get myself confused. The body can stay. Let's save and get started. And as always, I am on the wrong layer. The very little of my brain that is functioning to work on this stuff has decided that it is time to shut down. Yeah, I think I'll just finish the pointification and corrections of these line arts today and then wrap up and go rest. And continue this some other day, maybe on the next Short Sunday, since I still don't really feel like doing much else. Not that I don't have anything else to do, let alone more important stuff to do on the Short Sunday. I do. I still haven't finished that commission that I started over 6 months ago. Still have to finish that. What's the issue? Which issue? What are you talking about? Issue with what? Here's one of those flaws that I talked about, guys. Let's fix that. Wings, crest. Okay, so this here is the color that I want. Oh, if I am sick? I'm not really sick, though I actually don't really feel very well today myself. I had to go to the bathroom several times earlier. Which I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought I was going to have to make several bathroom breaks throughout the entire stream for, well, number 2, because apparently I ate something that is not sitting quite well. But thankfully that didn't happen, at least not yet. But yeah, I'm also feeling rather tired, a little short on breath. But mostly it's just my mental health that is, well, not helping. But that has been going on for a while, as you guys know. Especially if any of you have been checking any of the posts that I have been making, actually since before April is last April. It just got worse in early April. Way worse. Hey! The line art for the wing is actually supposed to be merged with the body. Yeah, I'll do that later. Let's finish what I came here for first. I see a very small issue here. Very light stuff. Yeah, that's better. Let's see about his right wing now. Now, it will help if I actually select the layer that I need to work on. Oh yeah. Okay, let's close this. Okay. Okay, so I think that for the line art of the wings, we are done here. Let's move on to... Oh, hold up. I think there's another issue there. Yeah. Gotta close this here. There we go. Now we can move on to this bald Spyro head. Spyro, why are you bald? It's because I am hiding his crest. Should I do anything here? Yeah, maybe pointify this crest. That's a brush. That is not the eraser. Oh, by the way, guys, have you seen? They released a trailer for a new Doom game. It looks very cool. Doom guys seem to be riding a dragon. Granted, a demonic looking dragon, but a dragon nonetheless. And the dragon seems to be just as badass as Doom guy himself. I could show the trailer on stream, I guess. I don't know if that would be copyrighted, however. Would it? I mean, it's just a trailer. Come on. What do you think, guys? Should I take that risk? No, wait a second. That's the wrong color for the crest. No, it's not. Why does it look like it is the wrong color? What the? That is a different color. What? Wait. Is it this color here? Son of a gun, it is. Why did I completely mislabel those? Whatever. Now I can't remember. Ah, here. This is what I was trying to do. A very small patch here. And also here, I guess. For a second I thought that was a bug on my shirt. Okay, I think this will do for the crest. I pressed the wrong button, but a key, but yeah, whatever, that's fine. Alright, Spyro. What next? Oh, actually this here could use an extra fixing. Here we go. Yeah, a little more here. Yeah, there we go. I say there we go a lot, don't I? Your body, Spyro, your body needs a lot of, well, not fixes per se, but your line arts, they need to be pointified further. Well, not further, because they haven't been pointified at all yet. They just need to be pointified, period. That is a brush. That's the brush tool. That is not the eraser. I need the eraser. Yeah, that's fine. Correction here. Pointification here. And here. New elections have just been called in France. When did they have the last ones? And why have new elections been called? What are they plotting this time? France has been a rather naughty player for the past few years, I must say. Way too naughty. Also meddling way too much on foreign affairs. Far more than they should. Oh, you know what? I should sample purple for the line arts, because I might need it. Ruling party lost too many votes to the RN. Wait, hold up. Let me get this straight. The people in power lost the elections and they are like, nah, we don't like these results. Let's waste money and vote everything all over again. Is that it? Call the elections just because they didn't like the results? Because frankly, that should only happen if, well, if at least there is fraud. Fun fact, that word also exists in Portuguese. Granted, it's not spelled the same way, but it sounds very identical. I'm just not going to say it on stream because, well, it's a poopy word. Many are very similar. Spyro, let's take a look at your tail. Your tail seems fine. Now here, a little teeny tiny bit of quantification there. And here. And I think Spyro is good to go. Ready to be colored. Nope, I lied. I still got these legs here. Wait, did I do that right? No, I didn't. There we go. Okay, now this 14 years old Spyro should be ready for coloring. Yeah, maybe chip off just a little bit of his claws here. Yeah, there we go. Now this purple boy is ready for coloring. Which, to be honest with you guys, considering the method that I am using for getting this picture done, being at the old ways that I used to use back in 2010, even though coloring is one of my favorite parts in doing art, I am not really looking forward to it. And you'll see why. I actually have already talked about this and exemplified a few times on past streams. But you will see for sure on a future Chill Art Sunday, maybe next Chill Art Sunday, but I won't promise. Anyway, point is, I'm not really looking forward to coloring. Not because I don't like coloring, I love doing it, but because of how I'm going to be coloring this. Which is also one of the reasons why I moved on to using vector lines for the final line arts. The Silverman National got more than double the votes of the ruling coalition. And the ruling coalition was like, no, we don't like these results. Let's do it again. Let's try once again. Or was there actually some problem with the actual election? Because if there was no problem, no fraud, or anything of the sort, I don't really see a reason to have everyone vote again. If one party has clearly won over the other. Oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna play the trailer anyway. I'm gonna do it. If I am to get copyrighted for the trailer, then so be it. Yeah, Doom, the Dark Ages. There seems to be a dragon in this. Well, there goes that. Hello, old friend. That's a cool gun, not gonna lie. Pardon me. Oh, that's pretty. Come on, show us the dragon. There. It's demonic looking, but I think this is supposed to be a dragon. And the coolest part is, Doom Guy apparently can ride this and control it. Sure, it would be cooler if you actually could be the dragon, but still. Look at that. That is freaking epic. That is really epic. Ah, good. It's going to be on Steam. Nice. Another game that I will not be able to play because I have no money. I'm sure this game, when it launches on Steam, is going to be costing at least 300 reais. For Brazil anyway. It's going to be way cheaper outside. Anyway, so yeah, as I said, let's keep working on this some other day because, excuse me, because I need to rest. So yeah, guys, actually, considering that I said at the start of the stream, I didn't really knew what to do today. I actually did a fair amount. I rented a lot, I finished a picture, I improved another one, I continued one that is 14 years old, and we watched the trailer. And also I discovered that if I were to start doing reactions, I would really suck at it. Anyway, National Assembly has been dissolved. Elections will be held in 3 weeks already. I still don't know why they are doing that. And just say that it is because the one party got more votes than the other. I don't think that's enough of an explanation. Maybe I will look into that later. Anyway, so guys, that's gonna do it for me for today. National Assembly has been dissolved. Yep, sorry, my brain is too fried. I am having difficulties processing that information. I'm not even joking. I'm actually having troubles understanding that. I will eventually understand, but just right now, I'm having difficulties. My brain is actually completely fried. Google mental exhaustion, guys, and you have an idea of why I'm like this. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna do it for me for today, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining today's stream. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had some fun. I'm sorry for my rants and maybe a little bit of grumpiness too. But yeah, what can I do? I'm trying to get better. Anyway, everybody have a great week, and until we meet again on the next stream, God bless you all. Stay safe and healthy. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Sleep well when you go to bed, and as always, dream of dragons. Catch you guys in the next one, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.
Present some problems and we don't know what to do. You've come to find new feelings and exactly what you knew. The odds are stacked quite poorly if without a winning hand. But bear in mind your bearing's only worse if you don't stand balancing your chips because of time you choose to trash. You've got to set your sights and hope sunset. just on time. And then we would all contrive new conflicts, you know, to bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes and set it not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl, but I would not let that mar my opinion on the trip. Do bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl, but I would not let that mar my opinion. Stipulations placed before you to get all the things you really need. Mr. Big may make things hard, but you have got to plant your seeds. Go to war, fight more. Your dreams thrive by competition. You'll find no one famous ever got there just by flinching at their foes. Cling against the torment, claw with all your might at what you know. Don't let go, just grow. Don't wait or play to indecision. Don't bet on taking shifts because you've got to be more grand. You've got to think ahead and carry out the things you've planned. Citrus can be your fuse when you can see where fossils lay. Don't quit on hopes or dreams when you have simply got to chin up. Don't bet on sinking ships because they'll only drag you down. You've got to keep on sailing even when you want to frown. The world will keep on turning without matter where you land. You might as well be running when your feet should hit the sand. Don't bet on sinking ships because you've got to be more grand. Chin up, don't bet on sinking ships because they'll only drag you down. Chin up, don't bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your trips to trash.